what I did was have the butcher cut me a boneless cross rib roast section. It's all meat. What we're going to do is, this measures 7.5 inches at the wrist in circumference, 10.5 inches in circumference at the widest part of the forearm. It matches my forearm in length and in diameter. Maybe a little wider than my arm. So I'm going to show the mechanical arm that we're going to put this on, and then we'll get started with the testing. Okay, so we're back. This is the mechanical arm that my buddy Keith made up for me. He's going to hold it like this after we put the skewer the meat on these dowels, and then we'll do the cutting test from here. These dowels are pine, and they replicate the porosity of type 2 bone in the human body, which the type 2 bone is your long bones like in your legs and your arms. It's a type 2 bone. The medical community has determined that as far as density porosity goes, pine is the same density and porosity as type 2 bone, which is what we're going to be simulating chopping through when we get this arm set up and staked on this mechanical arm. Alright, this is the knife we're going to use. Covington, out of Ohio. Custom made Fighting Bowie, 14.8 ounces in weight total. W2 tool steel, razor sharp. Let's see if this will cut through a wrist or an arm. We're about to start the test. So we're going to see if we can cut through, by the way, these dowels that represent the radius and ulnar on the forearm bones are 5/8 inch diameter and 1/2 inch diameter, which medically is the size of an average human forearm bones, the radius and ulna. They're 1/2 inch and 5/8. 5/8 down towards the wrist, actually, but we'll use 5/8 and 1/2 inch all the way through. What we got was a cut to the wooden dowel. It went through one of the dowels and not the other. It went through the 1/2 inch dowel and not the other. So let's try another cut.
Now snap it. Let's get a good one.
And that cut one of the bones and not the other again. So we went through one of the arm bones but not the other. It didn't get through both. So we're going to turn this way so I can get another cut on it. Alright, so a third attempt on this. And we're not getting through the bone. Here we go. Neither one went through the bone on that one. So no, this I don't believe, like Mythbusters, I don't believe a fighting knife that weighs a pound or less is going to get through a forearm wrist area. It did break bone, severed the bone, but it did not cut both bones and go through to drop on the ground. So no, I would say, like the Mythbusters, this myth has been busted. This one got through most of both dowels, about halfway through both dowels and halfway across the meat, of course, but it didn't take anything on this side.
Do another one.
Looks like we had better success with that last cut. It obviously cut the bone on both. One of them's on the ground, the other one's still attached to the meat, but it's severed. This is severed. Just held up by the...
We got 6 more inches.
By that. So we'll continue to mop on this as long as we have some meat left, and let's see what we can do. Scoring both dowels about halfway through, two of the arm bones halfway through, and good cuts on the meat, as you can see. but no severing of the arm with a lightweight fighter. Okay, so here's the results of these cut tests. Pretty much all the way through the meat on this, it nearly severed it. These dowels were snapped, which would happen with the blade. It wouldn't slice through a bone, it would snap the bone as it cut through. That's the 5/8 inch dowel. The remainder of the 1/2 inch dowel obviously cut through solid on one, ragged cuts. But yes, it gets through most of both dowels, which would be most of the arm bones, but it does not cleanly sever an arm, although there's a lot of damage there. You can see on these cuts, that was the first attempt where it didn't go through the dowels, but some serious damage. I don't know if they'd be using the arm with that much hacked through and the bones cut. It's pretty much going to be useless, although no, we've busted the myth. Fighting Bowie is unlikely to sever an arm. Okay folks, we're back. I want to make sure that the edge did not suffer any damage in this testing. So let's find out if it'll still shave paper.